Hello. All right, this is my first time doing a live stream, so pretty new to this. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna answer your questions in the chat. So if anyone has tokens that they want to be looking at on TradingView or whatever, I will do an analysis on the tokens. Also, you already see that we have some questions on how to trade, how to use the account and everything. Hello, Nicola. And so I'll show you that as well. And then we can also look at market open. So most important thing right now, I would say, is to start off by looking at what is going on with Bitcoin. So if you follow me on Discord, which I'm guessing most of you do, you know that I have been in a long trade on Bitcoin since 85,000. And once again, I'm going to explain this. I already explained this in a YouTube video, but I will tell you again. It was a very simple trade. I was looking simply at this range right here. So we just simply had this low right here, which we can look at as pretty much a range. We went below the range, did a little fake out. This is what we call a failed auction. So basically trading below the lows and going back in. There was also a daily level, as you can see, very well respected on the 4 hours. I mean, you can see also how do I get this daily level. You should have looked at my lessons, but I will explain it again. Simply, it's the closest of an untouched level from the past. So right here, we have a close and an open. This is categorized as a daily level. And then if we go on the 4 hours, you can see the respect on the candles. So clearly, right here, there was never a close below this level. As you can see, this candle closed right here, this one open right here, closed above, which shows very well respect, like it shows very good respect of this level. And therefore, that was a bullish reaction. Once 85,000 was reclaimed, so this low right here, then I took my long trade. And from there, you guys knew that my target was for these highs to be taken, the ones we had right here. As you can see, these are considered equal highs. By the way, I hope you can see my screen. Yeah, okay, you can. That's good. So yeah, as I was saying, these were the highs that I was expecting to go and take. And as you can see, we reached 94.2 and took out the liquidity that we had right here. Basically, this for all the people that were short from here, that's probably where most people kept their stop losses. I would say the other stop losses are now above right here. As you can see, this is a series of not equal highs, but very close highs. So for example, another thing that you can look at when you want to like find liquidity and when you want to know if a high is good or not or low, what you can do is use the TPO, which is time price opportunity chart, and you can look at the CME. And basically, as you can see, first of all, and this is a little nugget that I'm going to give you guys. Let me put the screen like this. When you are looking at highs and lows, what you want to see to consider that a high is good, you see these little boxes. I'm not going to explain what they are right now. This is covered in my mentorship. But basically, you want to see a single box. As you can see this little square right here. There's only one. You want to see excess. Excess means that you need typically more than two. So one here means that this is a weak high. We can go back to this. This is a good one. You see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I don't know, probably 20, or maybe not 20, around 15. This is considered a good high. And then also when you have a lot of highs next to each other, so for example, like this is also considered a weak high or a poor high, which typically means that there is unfinished business, and it means that price action eventually tends to go back and take these highs, which is pretty much what we did. So for example, this is a poor low, and as you can see, we went and recovered it right here. This is a good high, we got excess. This was a good low, but clearly weak. This is a good low, but again, weak. Oh, no, sorry, this is a good low as well. We have excess, which is from where eventually we actually went and reversed. This is a good low. We don't need to go back here. This is a pretty shit low. And in fact, it got taken once again. This is typically what you will see. This is considered the overnight. So basically when the stock market is closed. This is considered the when the stock market is open. So the RTH, real trading hours. Sorry, electronic trading hours and regular trading hours. But yeah, basically when typically you have a poor low on the overnight, it tends to be taken out on during New York session. As you can see, excess, only one box, that's a good low. And from there is actually where we had, I explained this in the Discord, there was a really good low. It's also explained in one of my YouTube videos. So if you want to know more about that, you can go back and watch this video. And from there, we had a massive run. So, okay, we basically covered what has been going on. So now, as you know, and sorry, I have a little bit of a cold. But basically now what I'm looking at is for 96,000 as a next target. Obviously, we do have to consider that we can look at this, as I teach, as a range, right? So we have range high and we have range low right here. So obviously we have to consider a scenario where we could have just taken the liquidity here. And as we saw before, 96,000 technically, yeah, it's not really a clear high, but on the TPO, we saw that we have excess. So we don't necessarily need to go here. Obviously there's resistance, and typically we are drawn to resistance, but we don't have to, because I mean, we took the poor highs right here, took the liquidity. There's not 100% need to go here. So we could see a reversal. If this starts to shift on a market structure shift right here, and we put in a lower high right here, well, perhaps we could see a full rotation. And do remember that for me, there is still the possibility to go back below 80,000. So as you know, I am interested in taking a big short at 96,000, but I'm also interested right now in monitoring what could happen here. For example, if we have another rejection at this level, especially now at New York Open, and with the weekend coming up, remember today's Thursday, then we have Friday, and then Saturday and Sunday, the market is going to be closed. Typically during the weekend, except for the last few weekends, we've seen dumps. So I might be looking for a short trade just to protect myself. As you guys know, I can show you my account right here. I do have a pretty big long trade right here running. I did take profit, as I said in the Discord. I had 3 Bitcoins at one point. I took basically almost half of the position off. As you can see, I took profit along the way, took more profit here and here. And as I just mentioned, if we start to see some weakness, I will be interested in taking that hedge short trade. And then also Solana, you guys know I bought at 124. I started moving my stop losses up. So if you guys want to copy my stop losses, this is what I'm keeping for now. Obviously, this is an unrealistic target at the moment. I just put it to see how much I would make, which is 61,000. But anyways, so these were 2 great trades. What is that? 15,000? No, 16,000, 21, 25,000 basically. But yeah, so this is the position I'm currently in. And then sorry guys, I didn't look at the chat. What do you think will happen after 96,000? No, yeah, sorry. When I said my screen, I meant TradingView. So what do I think will happen at 96,000? I'll explain this very quickly. So typically what I like to see for these bigger trades, so my swing trades, one sec, I like to see the candle closes. So as you can see, once again, here on the 4 hours, this is the high that we were looking at. As you can see, there has only been wicks. So let me mute my phone real quick. People texting me. There's only been wicks, which means that for now, this level just keeps on getting rejected. If we start to see some candle closes on the 4 hours, so something that looks more like this, imagine this as a candle, right? Let's do this in green. If we start to see something like this, I'll make it even more clear for you guys. With closes above the level, then yes, I can expect a move higher. But for now, this is technically a rejection. So technically, and I'm not going to take this, keep in mind, because I do want to see higher prices. We can also check order flow in a second to see what's going on. But you could technically protect yourself like this, but I would expect for this trade to be stopped out. But this is valid. But what would I rather do? I would rather see some weakness, which means that we go below these lows right here. Perhaps we can bounce on this anchor VWAP. That would be nice. And then we can look to short the retest. Let's see. Go in pocket. Probably something like this. Then if this happens, then I would be more interested in the short trade, because then we would have a very, very nice entry. Perhaps we can even put like an anchor VWAP. You know, if it's lining up with this, that would be nice. So something like this, if this were to happen, I would take the short trade. And then we can look to, for example, go and retest this 88, which is off of this value area high, or perhaps the point of control. But this would put me in a situation where I feel confident and because what happens if I take this short trade? So I can take one Bitcoin short at 92.6, and I would basically be hedging perfectly this position, right? Let's say this is one Bitcoin, don't consider it 0.17. So if I take a short trade right now in this moment of uncertainty, if we drop from here, I basically don't lose any money on my long trade because I make the money off of the short trade, right? So this will probably, if we drop $1,000, so if we drop down to 91,600, I will lose 1K of unrealized profit that I have here, but I will also make 1K on my short. And then instead, if I get stopped out of this short, the likelihood of moving up to 97, since we are staying above these highs, it becomes even more likely. So there's higher chance now that we will move up to 97,000. So yes, I lose the profit that I could have made between 92 and, for example, 94. But this whole move up, I'm not going to be in the short trade, and I'm going to make from 94 to 97. That's an extra $3,000 that I will make on the long. But what I just do, I just protected myself in case this doesn't happen, and in case price goes down, then fuck it, I don't lose anything because I have the short trade of one Bitcoin, which is going to make me money. And as this loses profit, I'm just going to make it back on the short. So I hope that's clear and it makes sense what I'm saying. What do you think? But yeah, basically, what do I think will happen at 96,000? We have to look at the same thing. So basically, are we going to see what is happening here? And perhaps we can just keep on rejecting with wicks. And then there, I would look, for example, for a 30-minute market structure shift. And by the way, also here, we didn't really have a market structure shift even on the 30 minutes. I would still consider this as the market structure shift. This is just a range. So like we could easily go and grab, sorry, let me make this a bit clearer. It's starting to be a little bit messy. So we could easily go down here. And as I teach, I think even in my free lessons, like this could simply just go grab this liquidity, perhaps with some time, maybe by tomorrow, this anchor VWAP has moved up. We bounce on the anchor VWAP, take the liquidity and have a full reversal. What you want to wait for is an actual loss of this level. But yeah, so I would wait for this in case you want to take a short trade. If you want to be more aggressive, be my guest. You can take a short trade right now. If you want to hedge your positions, I know most people from the Discord are actually already long, so you can do that. But for now, I'm not taking it. Also, I'm going to open order flow and I will share it with you guys. We can see like how many people are long, how many people are short, and what is most likely to happen based on that. In the meantime, I'll look at the... Oh, no, sorry, let me finish answering this. So yeah, basically, I'm going to be looking at the same thing right here. So once again, are we closing candles above on the 30 minutes, on the 4 hours, on the 1 hour? You can look at different time frames. Obviously, remember that the higher the time frame, the stronger it is. So a 4-hour close is way more powerful than, for example, a 30-minute close. And if instead we start putting wicks, then we have a little market structure shift. Then on this bounce, I will be looking for the short trade, which will look something like this with this invalidation above whatever wick we have put in, targeting lower prices. By the way, really, really slow New York open. Typically what we see is a grab of liquidity either to the downside or to the upside. And for now, it's literally just been dead. Let me check stock market. Yeah, it's stock market. Nothing special either. Okay, anyways, as I was saying, so basically at 96,000, that's what we have to monitor. If we start getting candle closes and we start reclaiming the level, then we can look at higher levels. For example, next one I would be looking at is $100,000 psychological, which fits pretty well between this value area low right here and this point of control. And then if, of course, this is nothing crazy, but I would be looking for the highest resistance as, for example, what is lining up with the anchor VWAP from all-time high. So yeah, we can start looking at around 105, which is also the top of this small range. We can also look at this bigger range. So yeah, I would say between 105 and 106. But once again, we would need to start reclaiming this area right here and be above this anchor VWAP. Then yeah, we can expect a move to... Actually, no, that's coming in at 105. Yeah, I really like that 105. Let's say right here. Anything between here and here, this daily level, this would be the next resistance. Claim that, and I think perhaps, I mean, for sure, we can see a move up to 115. And then from there, we got to see. I don't want to like get too ahead of myself. But yeah. So we don't see your screen. Yeah, that I already saw. We don't see your Bybit. We only shit. Sorry guys, I didn't show you my Bybit. That was stupid. Okay. You see it. So yeah, I was just simply showing. My bad. I was simply showing these trades that I had on my Bybit. So the $15,000 profit and what is that? $9,000 on Solana. I was showing you my stop losses here. I moved up to 86.3 and 131. And I mean, it wasn't much. I was just showing the take profits right here. I hope there wasn't much confusion. Please tell me if you want me to go over anything else. What do you think will happen? No, we don't see your Bybit. We only see trading view charts. Sorry about that. My bad. I didn't even read the chat. I should probably follow this on my phone so I can read the chat at the same time. Thoughts on XRP? Before I do that, and by the way, guys, if you want to drop some coins that you want me to look at, I will happily do that. So if, for example, you want me to do a little quick analysis on, I don't know, whatever token you want, XRP, whatever. But anyways, I quickly wanted to look at Ethereum because I think there's a really nice short trade lining up. So already I was considering a short trade here, once again, as a hedge, but I'm not long on ETH. I mean, I have spot ETH, but yeah, so this could be a good short trade. This is a really good example of a really nice rejection. The only thing that I would wait for, perhaps, is either that because we have this big anchor view up just above, right? So I don't typically like to see these levels being front run, which is the only thing stopping me from taking this short trade at the moment. We did kind of have, I mean, not even, because this is also not a real market structure shift. So let's say same with Bitcoin. If this is to fully break down on a nice change of structure, and then we can see a bounce from there, then I think I will take this short trade right here. But I do want to see the weakness from the market structure shift, because you never know. You know, with New York, like this could easily pump up, take the liquidity again, and then reverse. And having this anchor view up just above, I don't want to be taking like too much of a large stop loss, because then I would have to like put it above here, and you know, the risk to reward becomes, I mean, it's still good, 5.5, but that's because I targeted new lows. But you know, we still have to consider the possibility to bounce, for example, at 2.9. So I don't want to be in a short trade that looks like this. You know, that would be at 1.46. But already, if you want to take it more aggressively, you could look at something like this, and that would be already 1 to 3. But again, until we get a sign of weakness, I don't want to be taking this trade. You can do two things with these trades. Either you have to be really aggressive and you tried to trade the level, typically using order flow, and you get like an entry like this. For example, if you wait for the 4-hour close, which in this case was here, yeah, you could technically take this, and then you would have something like this. This is nice. Already, for example, you could have had 1 to 2 almost. So you can do that. But it's not typically the way I trade, because many times you'll see this happening, and then, for example, this will just blast through and you just take a stop loss. But yeah, so unless you can take these very high like trades with small invalidations, at this point, I would rather see either a market structure shift, as I mentioned, or for the level to, for example, once again, go in SFP this high. So let me explain this again. Oh my God, once again, I'm not sharing my screen. I'm so retarded. Guys, I'm so sorry. This is so complicated. I'm so used to just switching between my tabs. All right, my bad. Let me share it again. This is so stupid. All right, I gotta get used to like tapping the buttons to switch between the screens. My bad. First time. I apologize. Anyways, so yeah, basically I was saying, off of this anchor view up, like you can see the rejections on the 4 hours right here. So either what you can do is wait for the 4-hour close. And obviously this is in hindsight. I'm not saying to do it now. But I would wait for the closes right here. So as soon as this candle closes, this is the open, this is the close, then you can take a trade like this. You have a very small invalidation of 1%, and you can look for lower, and this could be a good trade. But I was mentioning that once you already reject and you're like, for example, trading on 3.17, taking a trade like this with higher invalidation, because I was mentioning this anchor view up right here, which has been front run, and I would have to take a trade like this with 4% stop loss. This doesn't really become optimal anymore, because once again, I was saying that this anchor VWAP, we have to consider the possibility of a bounce here. Like for example, we could do something like this. So, it's not worth it. On the other hand, if you are able to just be aggressive and take it as soon as you see this candle close on the 4 hours, then, even if we go to the anchor VWAP and reverse here, you still have a 1 to 5. So now what I was saying is I'm only going to take this short trade if we see a nice change of structure. So something like this, and then I will look to trade the bounce back and back down. Something like this I would like, and I will take. And I don't think I would keep a wide invalidation. But for me, the optimal thing right now for a short on Ethereum would be to look at this range right here. So like this, let's say. By the way, we already took here. So technically this was a scalp long, but as you can see for now it's looking like it's gonna get stopped. And if we go up and do a little SFP right here, the optimal thing would be to go up here, do a little SFP, tap onto these anchor VWAP, boom, close back below, and then we would have a really nice short trade. Because then we can take something like this. We can consider that we're back in the range. We have our invalidation. Always keep it a little bit wider because you never know if you can go again and test this anchor VWAP. We've seen that many different times. And then, we can target this anchor VWAP coming up. Already that would give us a 4.6 risk to reward. And then, of course, if this anchor VWAP doesn't hold and reverse, then we can expect for flipping it into support and moving more down, for example. And so you can let this trade run. Look at that. Now we're finally moving down. Oh, just as I say that, we start dropping. Okay, so yeah, already this scalp long would have been stopped. So yeah, that's what I was saying. Let's see more questions. Could you take a look at Mana? Yeah, first I have to look at XRP. But yeah, guys, just to make it clear, this is a nice short trade on ETH, which I think I had sent many days ago, actually. Also, we would have the retest of the 0.66 right onto the anchor VWAP. And then we have this nice support right here. So optimally, what would be very nice, right here, would be to do a nice swing trade. Parallel channel can go away. Nice swing trade right here, something like this. Boom. Perhaps you want a bit higher. Wait for the market structure shift. Take your short trade right here. Give yourself some space. And technically, we could be looking at this. And then you have an amazing short trade. So yeah, if this happens, I'll be looking to short Ethereum pretty heavily. Of course, I'm not going to be stupid. It's not like I'm going to not take any profit. I will still be looking at taking profit along the way. So once again, you can look at this. I would take profit at 2.9. I would take some profit at 3. Also 3,000, very important, psychological. Also, of course, I'm going to line it up with other things. Yeah, already this is lining up pretty well. So yeah, there would be different places where I would take my profits. Yeah, this too, like for example, 3,000 is looking really good for support. So this area is a nice support. We could fall from here. Let me take this off. We could bounce from here and then go, for example, for here and then back down. That's an option. Or maybe we just flip this level. If Bitcoin keeps on pushing, we can flip this level and keep moving higher. But I would optimally, since this is lining up really well, I think with the 96, 97, that would be nice to do. So once again, this would be my preferred scenario for a bigger drop. So yeah, that's it for Ethereum. For Solana, I'm going to cover it real quick because I'm in the big trade. Solana, as I already mentioned, we are at pretty big resistance here. We took the liquidity that was all above. This, by the way, could have been a short trade. I don't know why. Sometimes I call these things and then I don't take the shorts. I don't know. I'm kind of off of it lately, except for the long trades were nice. But yeah, I got to be a little bit more on my game because this could have been a really nice risk to reward already. I mean, would have been good profit. But yeah, so, I mean, of course, here we can expect a fall. perhaps back to 137, which is why I got my stop loss at 130. What is it? 136. I have my stop loss at 131. Sorry. So basically losing this value area low, because I could very well be possible that we go and bounce from here, something like this, right? So put in the higher low, keep going up, and then once again, as I mentioned, this is where I think if we can flip this level, that's where we can see a bigger move towards 170. But we really need to stay above this level. For now, this is a rejection. As I said, we grab the liquidity. As you can see, no candle closes above these highs. So for now, it's not looking bullish, but there's no point in closing the long, for example, because as I said, we can bounce here and keep moving higher. Let's see some anchor view ups. No. Yeah, I mean, from this high, it's not a crazy high, but sorry, I'm making my charts so like messy. I want to make this clear for you guys. By the way, let me know if it's not clear. I'll try to be a little bit more clear. But yeah, as you can see, I mean, very, very nice rejection off of this anchor view up, off the value area high, and of the highs. So yeah, honestly, this would have been a good short to get into. I mean, it still is, I guess. Just you would have a bigger invalidation. I wouldn't take it right now because, as I said, like you could look for a bounce here, and this would be pretty shit. But once again, if it was like this, that would have been nice. So yeah, and then I will now look at whatever tokens you guys tell me. Let's see. Still piping, nigga. I know, my bad. Could you take a look at Mana? We're on Bybit. XLM looking very good. It's like driving blind. Fed meter live sul telefono, va? Lol. We don't see trading view, it's like a podcast. No problem. We appreciate the analysis. I memorized the. Can you tell us how to become a member when we funded our account? Yeah, sure. All right, so let me quickly share. Damn, what a drop. Let's see. Hold on. Let me see if we can find a nice trade locally here on Bitcoin. Let's clean this shit up. All right, let's see what we have. Could look at an SFP right here already. I can see that, or at the liquidity that we have here onto this anchor view. This would be nice. 90,000 psychological as well. Yeah, I'm kind of liking this, to be honest, on the value area high. We can also monitor the order flow to see like if we get some nice shorts stuck right here. Then yeah, if we go and take this like this, close back above, I'll look for a scalp right here to trade this back up to here. And this would not be a change in market structure, by the way. Change in market structure, we have to like actually close some candles. Yeah. But it's also tough because we can look at this. This is what I don't like Bitcoin sometimes. Because like this can be seen as a range, as I was saying before, highs and lows. And even though we change structure, technically once we take the liquidity at range low, we got to look for the other side. So then this short trade becomes tough. But it's part of trading. Like it could very well work, or it could also just blast through and stop us out. So a little bit of a tough situation, but it is what it is. Yeah. So yeah, if this happens live, I will take it, I think. But we'll see. I already had actually an alert right here, and I already had one here. Perfect. I was already prepared. Cost, I don't know what to do. In since 0.42, we're grabbing liquidity on Bitcoin. We'll see. All right, so let me tell you how to become a member. Okay, let me open my Discord. So, one sec. Yeah, sorry once again. Like, first time I'm doing these live streams, so I'm a little bit of a noob. All right. Share screen, window, Discord. All right. So to unlock the signals, I mean, at the moment, since I'm having a little bit of an issue with the bot, like this bot right here, to unlock my trading signals right here. But basically, all you need to do is sign up to Blowfin. I'm actually in the talks with another exchange because Blowfin has no KYC. But for those people that want a KYC and have trade on a bigger exchange and stuff, I'll close another partnership for you guys where I can try to get you some trading bonuses and stuff. But yeah, basically all you need to do is sign up clicking this button. It will take you to the Blowfin account. Sign up, put an email. You don't need to put your ID. You don't need to put anything. Then you need to deposit minimum 101. I mean, this is not that you have to deposit 101. If you want to deposit 1 million, be my guest. Deposit 1 million. By the way, I'm checking order flow, and there is no shorts for now. But anyways, so you sign up, you create your account. If you have already a Blowfin account, you can just create a new one because you don't need to put your ID. And then you just follow the steps right here. So once again, sign up to Blowfin, deposit minimum 101, open and close a position of $1. By the way, do this before you start doing this procedure. So open and close. For example, I'll show you on Bybit how it works for those people that have never taken a trade. And this time I'm gonna switch the share screen, don't worry. So Bybit right here. Right, so when you want to take a trade, all you need to do is, I will do this to make it more simple at market, but basically here you decide, imagine opening 50 Bitcoin right now. That would suck. How much is that? 4 million? Should I open a 4 million position? Probably not. Anyways, you just simply go here. This is Bybit, but it's very, very similar to Blowfin. You can go in isolated, just because I don't want to mess with your margin. But yeah, you go in isolated. You hold on because this will change my thing. Liquidation price 77. Okay, we're good. And here you decide how much to open. For example, 0.001 Bitcoin, or even 0.001 Bitcoin, which is $92. You open, you close it. At this point, your account is activated, and you can go back to the Discord. What do you mean black screen? I shared it. How do you not see anything? I can see it in the live stream. Can someone tell me if you don't see the screen? Because I can see it. I'll share it again. It's okay, we're back. Okay, I'm gonna redo it again because I just stopped it. Y'all trolling me. Share. Okay, so basically, did you see the part where I said right here that you put isolated, you choose your leverage right here. I typically don't use more than 10 because I have the margin to even use 2. But I see some people using 100x. Obviously, if you want to use bigger positions, then you go higher leverage. But of course, you got to consider that with especially if you use isolated and 100x, 1% that gets you liquidated on your position. So I would stick to maybe max 25, 30x if you really want to exaggerate and you want to keep your margin. Anyways, I'm switching back to cross. Also, you see, this is what happens. So when you use cross, sorry for the flex, but you can see the margin balance here is like 440,000, right? Which means it's taking into account my whole balance, even like what I'm holding in USDT. And my liquidation price now, which you can see right here, that's basically 0. Why? Because fucking Bitcoin can go to 0 and I would not be liquidated because I have enough margin to sustain the loss. So let's imagine that if I do, say Bitcoin goes back to 10,000, I would lose 100K. So I can't be liquidated. Even if it goes to 0, I think I can be liquidated, but it's not a thing. So if it goes back to $1, I would lose 100K. So that's the max I can lose. But if you go isolated, there's a limit that you can lose because you're on that 10x leverage, which means that with a 10% move down, that you would lose whatever margin you've put, which in this case, I don't know where to see it, to be honest. But yeah, so basically it means my liquidation price is at 77,000. So if I put my stop loss at 77,000 or 0.1, okay, whatever, the 5. Okay, I can't see it. It's set too close to my liquidation. But basically, point is, don't just always have a stop loss. Don't let it go to liquidation because it will you will lose all the money that you have put for that. And you see, like with isolated now, my margin balance is 200K lower, which means that I'm putting that 200K to reach Sorry, yeah, 200K to, no, wait. I don't know. This is kind of like a brain fuck a little bit, but anyways, just go isolated, use your leverage, don't over leverage, and make sure your liquidation price is below your stop loss. And then when you want to open a position, you put your quantity here. Here you can see the value that you're opening, so $100. And here you can see your cost. Your cost is how much of your own money you're putting. So in order to get the value right here of 92, you put 9 of your dollars with the 10x leverage. Now you'll see if I put 20x leverage, my cost is going to be $5 about. And so once I go open here, my new cost is $5. That's because I'm putting $5, and to get to the value of $100, it just simply multiplies it by 20. And then again, if you want to open long, you just click here. I'm not going to do it because I already have my long position. Or if you want to go short, you open short. So yeah, I hope everything is clear. If someone has more questions, you can ask. By the way, did we just front run liquidity? Let's switch to this tab. Okay, so we front run this. I don't think this, I really don't think this is the bounce. I think we'll see another move down. Let me also share order flow with you guys just to show you what we got going on. Sharing. Window. Exo charts. I don't think I appreciate him, but this is next level trolling. He needs to check chat before he does any. My bad, guys. My bad. I'm new to this. All right. Like, what do you mean lights off? It's all back, guys. This is so tough. All right, I'm gonna put my phone to check the chat, just in case this shit happens. One sec. Let's see. My bad. I feel bad, guys. All right, now I got the chat open on my phone. Do I? Your entire presentation was back. Fucking hell. Can you guys see the order flow now or no? To the mentorship, I'm gonna do 2 more videos today, and it's gonna be about triangles and supply and demand. All right, now we can. I don't know why sometimes it doesn't work. Anyways, I'll fix this for next time. All right, perfect. Now I can see it. Perfect. I have the chat on my phone now. So I was saying order flow. This is what we use for order flow. And to make it very simple for you guys, streak. By the way, if you, for the member thing, just text me on Discord and I'll show you a bit more privately. All right, so on the Discord, on the order flow, we can see price moving down. But what is this? This is called open interest right here. If open interest is going down, that means that positions are closing. There's not new money coming in. So this whole thing, you can see delta is how many positions are coming in, so longs and short. Right here, we had minus 2.5 million, which are shorts, and minus 4.6 million shorts. So this typically is what you want to see when you grab liquidity. But that is if at the same time you have open interest going up. With open interest going down, these 6 million, 7 million that you see right here, that is not new shorts entering the market, which means that there's no people right here that shorted and that are stuck. Because what happens? Those people that shorted, normally, if someone shorts right here, right now they would be in a loss because they shorted 91.8, price is at 92.4. They're already in a loss. And typically what happens is that they start closing their position. And in order to close their position, you need to open a long trade. And so that's typically what leads to a short squeeze. But since open interest matching these 4.6 million right here, this is going down. See, it went from 767 down to 762. If you see green, it means open interest is going up. If you see yellow, it means open interest is going down. That means that all these shorts are just the longs closing. Okay, I don't know if that's clear. Please tell me if that's not clear to you. But yeah, so this means that there was no new shorts, and it's just people on the longs getting stopped out. So probably all these people right here, they had a stop loss at 92,000, probably from this low right here. And these are all longs getting stopped. So that's why I don't think it's going to be a nice reversal here. It could be, very well could. Nothing is certain in trading, as I always say. But it's not typically what you want to see for price to keep moving up. Yeah, and also we can see this on a higher time frame. Let's go 15 minutes. Let's see what we have. So yeah, also for example, millions of longs opening right here as well. Millions of longs opening, millions of longs opening. Typically, to keep seeing price move up, that's not what you want to see. You want to see millions of, for example, right here. This is perfect. So on this move down from 93 to 92.4, we saw 11 million shorts opening. You see, this is on green, which means that these are new positions opening. So if we can reclaim, for example, right now above 93, then I would say, okay, that's good. We have $11 million, not $11 million, sorry, 11 million shorts, see the dollars in shorts that opened at this price. Once you start going above this price, all this 11 million shorts, they start to be in a loss. And so that could help us, for example, moving up to the next whatever resistance we have. So yeah, that's good to see. This move down is just longs being liquidated. You can see this with the open interest falling. Okay, anyways, now I'm going to look at like 2 or 3 charts from your requests, and then we'll end this live stream. And then next time, whether it's tomorrow or whatever, I'll make sure to check chat more often so that you guys don't get the black screen. But this was just a trial, to be honest. My first time going live, so, Anyways, if you guys want to tell me the tokens, I know I'm going to look at XRP because someone requested it. But if you guys have any other request, I'll look at it. I'll do 2 or 3 and then end the live stream. So let me share. And please let me know if you see the screen. I will wait until at least one person says yes. Okay, I see black screen now. Yeah, now I see on my phone what you guys are saying, that I go black. That's weird. I don't know why it does that. Let's see, as soon as I stop sharing. Yeah, I see that. I see that on my phone. Yeah, that's really weird. I don't know. I'm gonna have to look into this. I don't know why it does that. Let's try again. Share screen. Yeah, it's whenever I share the screen, it kind of glitches. I mean, this is a problem from YouTube, not me. Okay, now I see that the screen works. All right, so let's look at, let me see the chat. Let's do Mana and XRP and XLM. We'll do 3. So start with XRP. That was the first request. So XRP. Damn, what a wick. 1 point. I remember calling this short trade, which was great. But I remember also calling a short trade, I think right here. I don't know why it's not on my graph. But yeah, I remember I called this short trade. Wow, that would have been good. I didn't take it, but I remember calling it. All right, let's see. By the way, I see this that I'm like kind of glitching on my phone. Is it like that? By the way, look at Bitcoin pumping now. So let's see if we can get above 93,000, and I think we can perhaps that was the low. So anyways, let's see what we have on XRP. So of course, as you can see, a lot of weakness, high, low, high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. Here we did put a higher low. So optimally, what we would want to see is for this market structure change, and then potentially we can look, for example, for a long here, because then we have some nice strength finally coming up. But anyways, let's see. Let's see potentially where we could look for a short and a long. Okay. Let's take this out. Actually, this is good too. No. Sorry, I'm going to be a little bit slow because I'm doing a new analysis. So it's going to take me a little bit of time. Okay. All right. So already you can see a short trade coming up here. And we have some daily tapped. Daily. What's up?
Yeah.
No, I am. But it's cool. It's cool. Sorry, guys. That was my best friend. Okay, weekly, nothing crazy. Monthly, nothing. Okay. Typically this is what I do. I always mark out my levels, and I see what's lining up best. And I typically do this on the 4 hours, by the way. All right, we have some highs right here. Okay. I have a pretty clear idea what we could do here. So, for short trade, I would definitely be looking right here, 2.75. We have this value area low. We have this higher value area high as well. We have this weekly, and we have this liquidity up here. So the only short trade that I would be looking at, actually not the only one, because I can see another one, would be something like this. And, if Ethereum does the same type of move, I mean, I don't think XRP is going to move up to 2.6 if Ethereum rejects at 3.3 that we were looking at before. But, potentially we could look for a short trade that with time, this is not going to happen in 2 weeks. Perhaps it will take 3-4 months if we are to enter in a bear market. Perhaps we can go look at the fill of this wick as the final target. But like, for example, here, anchor VWAP is going to start moving down. We could look at something like this. It's a bit of a big area of resistance, but this for me would be the most interesting swing trade, and we would still maintain, look at this anchor VWAP was tested twice here and very well respected. Once again here, we could just retest it again and hold this whole resistance. We don't even need to go honestly all the way up here. I would already be looking for basically, like, I would say grab of liquidity right here, and once we're back below the weekly back test, you can take the short trade here. So this would be a nice short trade on 2.6 if we ever get to there. If not, if we want something a bit more local, let's see, we have this point of control. Yeah, we can try here because, I mean, as I said, these are just lower highs, lower highs, lower highs. We could put another lower high here onto the point of control. We could do this one, honestly. I would have to see the reaction. And this would also line up, I think, nicely with the Ethereum thing I was talking about. From here to here, it's about 10%. If Ethereum moves up, if Ethereum gives us another 4 to 5% and then rejects, I mean, yeah, it can happen that XRP moves twice as much as Ethereum. So I think it's possible. So yeah, for a short trade, I would say 2.7 for a bigger swing trade. For a more local trade, 2.43. This would be a nice area for a short. For a long, we probably missed it. Also here, I think, not really. Maybe with this one. Yeah, that's nice. To be honest, I would like this. I would probably take this on a nice rejection. But yeah, so for a long trade, I think the long trade was right here after putting the low. I mean, I took this on Bitcoin and I took this on Solana, but I mean, clearly we went back above the value area high from the bigger range. Sorry, value area low. Back test, CC, golden pocket, daily, and then yeah, I mean, that would have been the long trade. I wouldn't take another one here. We're rejecting off of this point of control various times right here. We're rejecting. Yeah, to be honest, I wouldn't take a long trade now. The long trades were all here. Yeah, I mean, you could look right here. I don't know. I personally wouldn't. Not now. So I only have short trades for XRP right now. And of course, once again, these are all based on reactions. Bitcoin long or short? Neither. I'm already long on Bitcoin from 85,000. So for me, there's no point taking a new long at this level. I mean, I wouldn't long into resistance. The long would have been perfect, as I was saying, if we took this liquidity right here. That would have been the long. Unfortunately, we front run the level. This doesn't typically happen, but as I said, if we start to reclaim the point of control right here at 93,000 and the shorts that I showed you guys before, then we can keep seeing a higher move. Maybe we see 96 today. Who knows? But yeah, I would definitely not long here. You're longing into a point of control, which is resistance. The best thing to do is to wait for actual support areas and resistances, and that's where you can take longs and shorts. Also, this is not valid, the short trade that I was explaining before, because we did not have the change in market structure I was talking about. So I'm not going to be taking any trades. I already have my positions that I already showed you. So for now, I'm staying in that. But yeah, so yeah, that was it for XRP. Now let's look at XLM. What the fuck is this? I mean, this is all the same price action. Already, I don't like this because we've been in a downtrend since July. Let's see on the daily heat map. Yeah, sometimes I'll look at it, but I can kind of tell where the liquidity is without looking at heat maps. I really don't like this right here. Because typically when price moves up this fast, you can see it moving down just as fast. So it's a bit of a shitty chart, I'm not gonna lie. Let's see. I really don't like this at all. I mean, look at this from the wick, like never even like made higher highs, just constant lower highs, lower lows. Yeah, guys, I don't know. This is tough. I don't typically trade like such a downtrend. Like I mean, I can look for a short, that's for sure. Already, I can see it right here. We backtest this value area high onto the anchor VWAP, something like that, to go and fill this. I mean, of course, you guys know my bias on Bitcoin and Ethereum, so of course I'm gonna be looking for shorts. Didn't even like look at this. Didn't even take this liquidity right here, so that gives us even more confidence in taking a short. Let's see the downtrend as well. Yeah, this sucks. I'm not gonna lie. I hope you guys are not holding this in spot, because unless we have an alt season, which I highly doubt, we're probably not gonna see anything crazy. But anyways, let me see. We can look at some daily levels. That's tapped. That's I'm not interested in. Daily level right here. This is starting to be nice and nice. I might actually take this. Oh, nice. Another weekly right here. Monthly. Oof. I'm really starting to like this, guys. I'm gonna short the shit out of this. Yeah, 100%. The only thing I don't like is this. Actually, wait. Let me take a look at this. Okay. Yeah, something like this, probably more up even. Something like this would be optimal. This would be so nice as a short. Gonna have to, what you could do, I don't typically do this, but what you could do, because this would give us a wide stop loss. So the best thing, of course, would be to see like a simple tap of this on this anchor VWAP, probably on the monthly, reject. Now I would have to look for a very tight entry here with a tight stop loss to get a nice risk to reward. So I'm not gonna blindly short this. What would be nice if this happens with time. So for example, let's see, this anchor VWAP is gonna take around, let's say into the new year, so about 1 month. If in about 1 month this has moved down and it's lining up perfectly with this value area low, weekly, and the anchor VWAP, then what I would probably do, I would attempt a short trade like this with the stop loss above this monthly, because I'm not so interested in like the anchor VWAP and monthly lining up as confluence. We even have one at this. Oh my God, this is so beautiful. Yeah, guys, 100%. I'm going to be taking a short here if we ever revisit this. So I'm going to even set an alert. But yeah, if we can see price slowly moving up, if we first reject here with this anchor VWAP, I'm going to take a short and I'm going to put stop loss like this. And this might take more than one try, by the way. Like I might get stopped out here and then I'll wait, for example, for price action to go and tap the levels. And once they are lost, market structure change, I'm going to attempt another short because I really do think that it's unlikely on such a token, which is just been going down, down, down. It's going to be quite unlikely that we keep strength. I mean, even here, look, we had this massive pump just to retrace it all back. Same thing here, massive pump, retrace it all back. Massive pump, retrace it all back. This would still be not a massive pump, but like that's still like a 35% pump. And you know, that would still be lower highs on the higher time frame. So that would be nice. So yeah, 100%. I'm not even gonna look for a long, honestly, because I'm not interested. Of course, you would probably think, well, if you're expecting price to go to 0.33, why don't you look for a long trade to bring it there? First of all, because once again, I'm already exposed to a lot of tokens, and the short trade, I mean the long trades that I have on Bitcoin and Solana, and also because I mean it's not a guarantee. This is not 100% gonna happen, but if it happens, if price goes here, I'm gonna be taking this short. And then let's see, what was the last one? Mana, right? I think all these tokens are really bearish, by the way. Okay, yeah, this is horrible. This is even worse. This is terrible. Whoever is holding this, I'm sorry for you. This shit is probably not gonna go back up. Like the only chance you have of making your money back is to see a huge failed auction right here. But I wouldn't even know where. Probably here, I would say. Ugh, I don't know. Yeah, if this shit starts going up above 0.29, like if you somehow, because God is on your side, I don't know, like then sure, you can maybe see this like going back to 65 cents. Until this level is not reclaimed, I'm sorry, but it's looking quite cooked. And you're probably going to keep losing money. I mean, looks complete weakness. Yeah, I'm not even going to look for anything here. What we could look for actually is a short trade here. So whilst our friend here who's holding it is going to be hoping for this to do this, reclaim and pump, we're going to be cheering against him. No offense. I'm just joking. Obviously, I'm trolling. But we can be looking for a short trade like here, something like this, to take this to 0. I mean, why would I not, like, how can I expect for something like this to go up, you know? Like the only thing you want to be looking here is for short trades. Even here, look, very simple. Right here. Oh, is this equal highs? Not that I give a shit, but doesn't matter if it's equal highs. But no, yeah, we took liquidity, massive drop. We could even go up here to take liquidity and massive drop, but I would definitely not look for a long trade. I mean, even look at Bitcoin and Ethereum and stuff that they had that, like they put the low. First of all, I think that's a terrible low. Yeah, it's pretty shit low. It's not great. But look, like even here, what we saw on most tokens is like we put in the low and we found like a higher low and bounce and like a bigger bounce. This hasn't even bounced that much from the low. Like look at this. This has been 10% bounce. And then instead, if we go look, for example, at Solana from the low, and by the way, Solana is pretty big, so don't even expect it to bounce that much. But already, like Solana outperformed twice this token. If we look at Sui, 40%. So Mana with this 10%, clearly super weak. Clearly, no one really interested in checking it out. So yeah, 100%. I'm not gonna be looking for long, and I would tell you, like, if you barely have anything left at this point, whatever. But guys, I'm telling you, you do not want to be buying like these shit coins and putting your life savings in it. And also here, I mean, we already had the back test and drop. This would have been the short trade, to be honest. But yeah, one way, I'm gonna tell you, one way to make a lot of money, find these shitty tokens that just drop like this. Like once again, look at this weekly time frame. There's zero strength. Not once did we have like a nice change in structure. From the moment this listed, just how much is this? Probably like 95% it lost. 97%. Come on, guys. Yeah, so very simple thing. When you're buying a token, at least look at the trend. Don't like blindly buy these things because like an influencer said something on whatever, on X, on Instagram. Yeah, I'll check Tao as the last one. But yeah, so just look for short trades and just keep being in shorts on this. You get funding, you get money, because I mean, imagine shorting this, or imagine even shorting here. Even shorting here, this would have been 85%. Or even here, for example. Basically, any pump on these type of tokens, just short it. 60% from here. Insane. So yeah, I mean, if we can lock in a short right here, who tells us we can't get a nice 60% drop or even further? So yeah, that's it. Let's see Bitcoin real quick. Anyways, I'm not interested in Bitcoin right now. You guys know I already have my positions. All right, let's look at the last one, Tau, and then I will close. I remember this long trade. Oh, wow. Tau went to 500 like a month ago? That's crazy. Well, that was your chance to get out. I remember someone in the chat was like saying that he wanted to get out, and I hope he did. I mean, look, in my last YouTube, I was saying to buy spot, like anything between 300 and 280, something like that. You had a chance, then you had a chance to get out at an 80%. From there, is it possible that we bounce again? Yes, that was one of the tokens that if we actually see some like good stuff could actually bounce, but at the moment I would not focus on just accumulating tokens. I mean, we just lost this value area low. We back tested it once, back tested it twice. Again, I don't know. I would not be looking for longs here. Quite a lot of weakness, even from the low. This too, how much did it bounce? 25%. It's not too bad. Grab of liquidity. I mean, you can always find something locally to trade, but it's just like, yeah, this would have been nice. This is kind of like a range. Take the lows, go back above, trade it to value area low. But as a new trade, this did not even take the highs right here. So not really much strength. Another thing is if we do start to reclaim this value area low, I mean, we took basically all the liquidity we had, obviously not the wick, we could see a full reversal to 430. But definitely you want to be reclaiming 320. Until then, most likely what's going to happen is this. So yeah, I would definitely not be looking for a long now. What I would do if we want to be taking long trades, wait for this to reclaim. To be even safer, I would wait for a reclaim of the point of control, but that's can't ask for everything. So if we do something like this, rejected the point of control, but we change market structure, we can look for an entry on a back test of the value area low. Like probably like an anchor VWAP, whatever, some levels that will come with time. And like this, I would be looking for a long trade. This would be a swing. So we could even put the stop loss here, but what I would do is use some more local invalidation based on the market structure change and the loss of the value area low, because if we lose value area low once again, we want to be out of this, and then we can just target for 36. Of course, there will be take profits along the way, as I always say, and this will be a nice trade, like a 1 to 5. But again, I want to see the change in market structure. I want to see the strength. We can see a little rejection here. For example, this perhaps will line up with another Fibonacci level, whether it's the 0.5 or whatever. And we can look for some confluence once we get some more price action. So yeah, this is what I'm going to be looking at. I don't really trade these now. I'd really like to have some volatility and some trend in it. But if we get a movement like this, I'll be interested in checking like in the future. Could you show your anchor VWAP settings, please? Sure. This is part of the mentorship, but you know what? Fuck it. There you go. Standard deviation, high, low, close, divided by 3. Take a screenshot if you want. Let me read the chat one more time. Based on what do you decide if the low is good? I covered this at the start of the live stream, kind of. I did actually. Also in a YouTube channel. I'm sorry, not YouTube channel, in a YouTube video that I did in the past. I would suggest you go see, I think it's, if not the latest, the one before, and just rewatch the live stream. This live stream is going to be posted on my channel anyways. And at the start of the video, you'll see it. Let me just check. Ethereum as the last thing. Yeah, anyways, for Ethereum, keep in mind I'm going to be checking reaction here and reaction here. And I will update in the Discord. The group you can join in the description of this live stream or in the bio of my YouTube channel. You'll see a link to join the Discord, and then there will be all the what's it called? All the instructions on how to join. But anyways, the group is free. All right. So if no one has any more questions, I'm going to close my. I want to see something. I bet I'm gonna go black screen now. Let's see. Oh, now it works. Okay. Well, now I can switch between tabs. So yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna see you inside the Discord. I'm gonna update you there. And remember, if you want to join the mentorship, I can quickly show that. What it looks like. Of course, mentorship is not free. Let me share screen. Stop sharing. All right, moment of truth. Window. I'll check your DMs later, guys. All right, this is what the mentorship looks like. It's a bunch of lessons. I still have to add so many lectures, and there's market analysis from YouTube actually. But yeah, there's just a lot of like explaining all the setups, all the strategies. I covered, for example, the Anchor VWAP, super powerful tool. There's probably at the moment 6, 7, or maybe 8 hours of content. I mean, if we also consider all the market analysis, there's like probably 12 hours, 15 hours, I don't know. But yeah, I'll be adding way more lessons. So like this is nothing. I still gotta add, for example, order flow and shit like this. So, but yeah, if anyone is interested in this, you can find it in the Discord. You can contact me. This is actually the first time I do mentorships, so pretty cool. Anyways, I hope everything is clear. And yeah, see you inside the Discord. Yeah, nice to see Bitcoin is pumping. Let's see if we can go for the highs. All right. See you tomorrow in the next live stream.